So this video is going to be a little different than some of my other videos. The truth is I've been sick for the last week and I've been getting overscheduled at work, which I need the money, so believe me, it should be a good thing. But I am very tired and I have not been able to stream because I am asleep when I would be streaming. I'm here to talk to you about something very important. There's a lot of stuff happening right now on YouTube. Maybe because of the election, maybe because of Jordan Peterson, I don't know. But the truth is, there's a large misunderstanding happening, whether it's Gavin Ortland, whether it's Shabir Ali, whether it's Trent Horn, although Trent Horn's been better about things lately, about what religion is and what religion isn't. And I've noticed this even with Kip Davis and Myth Vision and their interactions with Alex O'Connor and Ruslan, who Ruslan has severely disappointed me lately, as has Gavin with his inability to admit mistakes. So I've been reading these things, and there's more books behind my chair, since I was 15 years old. I love the Tao Te Ching. I love the Bible. I love the Iliad and the Odyssey, and other books as well. I've read the Quran. I've read the Rig Vedas. I've read the Upanishads. I've been reading through the great religious works through most of my life. And although you can't see them up here, The Art of War and the Book of Five Rings, as well as the Tao Te Ching, are three books that I have every year since I was 15 until I was 30 reread. That's how important they are to me. But I am a Catholic Christian. I believe Jesus is God. I believe in the Trinity. So why am I reading all of this stuff? Why do I care about what the Buddha has to say or anything else? Why am I not falling for the BS that apologists say about truth and objectivity and about morality only coming from one source? And why do I have friends who are atheist and Buddhist and Muslims? And why don't we all try to convert each other? I mean, we hang out with each other most of the time. We go out to have tea and coffee and drinks and we eat meals together. Why aren't we always trying to convert each other? Well, because we're friends. So friends don't do that to each other. And because we love each other and accept each other. And yeah, we talk about our religion every once in a while. But for the most part, we're talking about the latest video game, the latest comic book, stuff like that. So does that mean that all of this stuff is false and only this one is true? That's not how reality works. Does it mean that the fact that the Isaiah scroll has some errors in it, or some variations, or that John might not have been written by John, does that somehow disprove the Bible? Or what about the Quran? The fact that the Quran has multiple traditions and that only one tradition is the main tradition, but there are other traditions that are considered just as valid if you don't look at things through a religious spectrum, but instead through an academic, scholarly one. No, none of that. None of that matters. Ruslan and Wes are really bad examples of this. In fact, most Protestants are really bad examples of this. And yes, there are some bad actors on the Catholic side. There are people like Tyler Marshall, people like Brian Holdsworth. Yes, I am naming names. People like some of the bishops who have come out against the Pope because the Pope supposedly is progressive, even though if you actually look at what he said, he's not. What is the point of this video? What is the point of life? What is the point of religion? I got news for you. All of these people, all of them who follow these religions are trying to be good people. They're all trying to live their best life and they're trying to achieve human excellence. They're all trying to do good. They're trying to help other people while at the same time protecting themselves. That has nothing to do with the faith. In fact, almost none of these books talk about how to worship. None of them talk about how to go to church or what the procedure is for worshiping someone. None of them. They don't tell you what to do. They don't tell you how to pray. If you want to take one chapter in the Bible, there's like a chapter on it. But none of them are telling you how to live your life. They're just stories about how people lived their life. And some of them are more fictionalized than others. And some of them are so far back in history that we couldn't verify if anything was truthful anyway. That's not what religion is, and that's not what the Bible or the Quran or the Iliad or the Odyssey or the Rig Vedas or the Bhagavad Gita or the Egyptian Book of the Dead or the Tao Te Ching. That's not what any of them are doing. They're making you think. They're making you feel connected to humanity. They're showing you examples of other people who have made horrible mistakes, and yet still continue to live their lives and to live good lives even after making tremendous errors. Very few religious books are about the gods. Most of them are about people living their lives and just trying to survive. And they're examples of how to do so, whether it's through grace, obedience, fate, destiny, or accepting the paradoxes of life. They're just different approaches. That's what the religions are. That's what the great books are different approaches to life. The Bible is special because it's many different approaches. Whether you want to say 66 or 72 or 77 or 88 different approaches, they're just a collection of different approaches to the same problems. 88, I'm saying for the Coptic. I don't know how many are actually in the Coptic. Different approaches. They're just different approaches. And it doesn't matter if there's textual variants. It doesn't matter if there's different versions. I didn't pull them out, but I have the Elder Edda and I have the Prose Edda. It doesn't matter the different versions of it there are. That doesn't matter. No textual variant proves or disproves the Bible. No addition or subtraction. The Catholic Church claims something is canon and that's it, and we just go with it. We don't care if it was added later or before. Is it consistent with the message? The Protestants are going to believe the 66 books of the Bible, no matter how many textual variants you pull out, MythVision. No matter how many parallels you show between Homer and the New Testament, between the Egyptian Book of the Dead, between the Atarhasis, between the Enuma Elish, it doesn't matter. None of that takes away from the person's faith in God. You can attack the Bible all you want. You're fighting shadows. The Rig Vedas, the Upanishads, people who are Hindu aren't going to lose their faith because you tell them there are multiple copies in different interpretations of these stories. The same thing goes with people who are neo-pagan. The neo-pagans don't care that they are not even reading an original oral tradition of their gods. That's not what faith is about. All these people are just trying to be good people. That's it. Faith in God has nothing to do with the character of the person. And so for the people who are character assassinating the opposite side on any issue, you're just fools. You're just fools. And you're being monsters for no reason. I read all this stuff because I generally care about these things. Yes, they're literature, but they're also religion and they're also philosophy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And yes, there is one version that I actually believe is true. There is one that is part of my faith. That doesn't mean that none of these are valuable. These are all extremely valuable to me. I have 4 different Qurans. I've read the Quran now 2 times and listened to it once on audiobook. Don't tell me this book doesn't matter to me because I'm a Christian. Don't tell me that the Hebrew part of this Bible is not important because I'm a Christian. It's incredibly important. Don't tell me that the Iliad and the Odyssey don't matter because I live in modern times. Because I can guarantee you, I have been in situations where I thought to myself, what would Odysseus do in this situation? Yeah, I've had that thought. So all of you need to lower down the temperature. Ruslan, stop covering up for Wes's and Gavin's mistakes. They don't matter. If a simple error in judgment, in speaking, is enough to make you lose your faith, or for the people who you are trying to convert in to not become Protestant in whatever denomination, then you don't have true faith, and neither do they. If understanding that the history of the Pope or the history of the Magisterium or the history of the church going from the primeval church to the early church or the ancient church, as it's sometimes called, up to the ante-Nicene period, past the post-conciliar period, if just learning the history is enough to make you lose your faith, then you didn't have faith to begin with. Kip Davis is not attacking our faith. If you think Kip Davis or I was going to name the wrong guy, or Dan McKellen, or Bart Ehrman, or anyone who's presenting just facts and data are going to hurt your faith, then you don't have enough faith to face the truth. It's okay if there's textual variants. It's okay if there's multiple versions. It's okay if your friend doesn't have the same faith as you. Yes, you want to save their soul? Tell them about your faith, but leave it at that. Let God decide who is in and who is out. You are not the judge. Love each other. In fact, love each other above all things and forgive each other above all things. Forgive and love everyone, even your enemies. It might be that someone in your faith told you to do so, And that's fine. That's a great reason to do it. But you should also do it because you're human and you can be wrong and they could be wrong. And that's okay too. I'm not talking about ecumenicalism here or universalism. I believe only one of these is correct. I really do. But I believe all of these contain truth. And I believe all of them are incredibly important. And I wish everybody would read all these books, especially the ones that I have behind me right now. Read them. Don't listen to what someone else says about them. Don't listen to the expert, and don't listen to the fool across the street who's never read it. Don't listen to the Billy Carsons. Read it for yourself. And if you're worried about translation, read multiple translations from multiple publishers and get a good gist of what it really says. And then move on with your life. And if you have faith, keep your faith in God. Do not worship false gods. Do not put false gods' names on your lips. Fine. But don't be ignorant and claim that the pagans believe things that they didn't believe, or that the heathens believe things that they didn't believe, or that the polytheists believe things that they don't believe, that were antithetical to their societies. Don't claim that the Muslims do things or believe things that they don't. Don't claim that the Christians believe things that they don't. And stop pointing the finger at everyone and calling everyone evil, because they're not. That is my message today. And hopefully, in the next few days, because I seem to be recovering, hopefully in the next few days, I will be back to my live streams. But until then, be good to each other. Be the best you can be. Strive for human excellence and love each other and forgive each other and keep your faith, whatever faith you happen to have. And if your faith is so weak that a simple question, a simple idea, a simple blasphemy can break your faith, then you didn't have faith to begin with. Nietzsche is not the enemy. Jordan Peterson is not the enemy. President Trump is not the enemy, and neither are their opponents. Not Foucault, not Derrida, not Biden, not any governor or president in any country that exists today. Most countries nowadays want peace, and those that don't are the ones who are having issues. But most countries want peace. Most people want peace, and most people want life. So forgive each other, love each other, and be good and kind to each other. Thank you, and good night.